Hey everyone, it's Rebecca. Anyways, I just woke up. I had like the most intense dream. One of the dreams that I had was I was in a limo with my friend who got married. She's been married for a while, but for some reason she looked really old, and she looked almost pregnant. She looked tired, and I was like reaching out to her, but she wasn't really like looking at me, right? And then in this dream, like I came out this mountain and there was like this almost like a theater play, and her husband was doing a little show for her. I know her husband is Asian, but for some reason in the dream he was black, and she comes over and tells me, she's like, I got everything I wanted. He has a 6-pack and he's handsome and he loves God. And he's like, you're gonna get it too, right? So she's wearing this like purple floral dress, and like she walks forward, right? And I'm like holding her hand, and I'm like, look, like it's your husband, right? And then she's like looking, right? And then she like stands over this cliff and then falls over, and she like goes like this, she falls over, and then her husband catches her. And then so in another part of the dream, I'm looking through like Lost and Found, and it's like little plastic bag of like Hello Kitty stuff, and I'm looking over at the girl who sells boba, and I'm like, hey, like, can I take this? And she's kind of like, well, I don't know, I found it might not be yours. So in the dream, I see these journals, and I open them, and it says 2016, and I'm like, oh my god, and it says RL. I was like, these are my journals. I'm like, I can't believe I found them, right? So I felt like the Lord, when I woke up, was saying, claim your promises. Whatever that you have dreamed of, like, it is going to come true, but you need to claim them, and you need to find them. Find your vision, find your journal, find what you've written down. And that for some of you, your husband, your wife is coming, and there's been a very hard battle. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, like you should just like not look, but that's actually a lie from the devil, because that's passive. That's taking a passive stance on life. If God has promised you something, you have to claim it. How do you claim it? You go for it. So if like a husband is what you're looking for, you need to look for your husband. You need to be active. You need to have an open heart. You need to talk to people. You need to go on dating apps. You need to ask people. You need to ask people, like, hey, do you know someone who's single and Christian? You know, like, you need to be putting yourself out there to manifest what God has called you and told you that you're gonna have. Like, you don't, okay, for example, if you're looking for an apartment, you don't sit there and not look. You look, right? You go on Craigslist, you ask people, do they know of an apartment? If you're looking for like a bike, you ask people, hey, where can I buy a bike? You Google about it, right? You look for it. When you're looking for a dog or a cat, like, what do? You Google, you search for it, you ask people about it. Hey, even when you're looking for a mattress, like sometimes people like, hey, do you have a mattress? Like, you look for it again, right? You look. And if you're looking for a car, what do? You go to a car lot, right? Like, you go to Honda, you go to Volvo. You ask people, hey, do you know anyone selling a car? You look for it. When you're looking for a job, what do? You go on Facebook Marketplace, you go on Craigslist, you go on LinkedIn. You look for it. You look for where that job is. You ask people, do you know if there's a job in my city? Do you know if you look for it. What do when you're looking for a husband? You look for it. And that is why that is a lie from hell, that people think that, oh, well, you never know. It's like you never know when it will show up, because it's when you don't look for it. Well, I actually don't agree with you, because yeah, there are some people who have that story, but then there are some who, you know what, you can't be ashamed. For some reason, there's so much shame in this society on like wanting to get married. Like, there's so much shame, like, well, I don't have a need for that, I don't want that. It's like, well, you know what, it's okay to have that desire. Like, just as you have a desire for a job, you have a desire for an apartment, you have a desire for a car, you have a desire to buy clothes, to go shopping. It's the same idea. But for some reason, there's so much shame around it. And maybe when I was like in my 20s or when I was 14, like, I didn't really care. And I was like, why do these people want to get married so bad? Like, what's the big deal? But so in the dream, like, my friend was telling me, like, look, my husband has a six-pack and he's handsome and he loves God. And in the dream, I felt like my heart hurt so bad and I was like almost crying. Then I woke up, I was like, oh wow, like, so when you have hope deferred, right, your heart hurts. And part of that is picking up the sword of God and fighting. So even yesterday, I had someone say to me, well, Rebecca, you know, the world is going to shit and the world is this and that. And I'm like, no, I actually completely disagree with you. God has promised me all these things and it's coming to pass. So no, like, the world isn't going to shit. Actually, my life is going better and better every day. Like, you know, like, yeah, you might be scared, you might be at home, like, you know, living in fear, but I'm not. I'm living my life. I'm living my best life in 2020. I've been living my best life. I've been going places. I've been going out. Like no one has stopped me from that. Because guess what? Like, God has spoken to me. He said, don't be afraid and just go out. Like, and I have met more people than I usually do. I have gone to more places than I usually do. And no, like, I'm not gonna live in fear, just as you shouldn't live in fear either. So I just felt like the dream was very significant. There was also a dream where, like, I went to a boba shop and the girl was like, oh, you actually have 5 or 6 free drinks. And I was like, okay, what can I get? And then they're like, milk tea boba. And I was like, well, I can't really drink caffeine. And they're like, well, and then she served the milk tea boba in a bowl. And I was like, okay, I had a drink of it, but then my heart was like very hyper. And then she gave me these little like these little things that had what's it called? I don't know, it had like little yogurt in it, and then each one of them represented like a free drink that I was supposed to get. But then it fell on the floor and I was like, hey, like, my free drinks coupon fell on the floor, like, can you help me? And so that was a dream. So I think what that is just like picking up again, like, your lost promises, like the things that you've lost, and finding them again, you know. So anyway, so I just pray that that you would find encouragement. Hello. And that's it. I just pray that that you would go out and not be afraid, and to do what it is that is in your heart every single day, and not to live in fear, but to take a lot of chances. Take chances every single day. Do things that scare you. Talk to strangers. Hang out with people. Like, don't live in fear. Go out. Turn on the lights, you know? Alright. God bless you. Make sure to subscribe to my blog and my YouTube channel, The Bex Show, BEX Show. And if you'd like to make a donation to this ministry, you can do so on my website. God bless. Bye.